Photo deduplication. Step 2. Set up your scan criteria tab. For this first one, it's photos. And for image similarity, select very close match. Then untick same aspect ratio and leave the rest of the settings as default. Photo deduplication. Step 3. Add your files, scan location tab. Select the folder that you want to sort from the left-hand side, and with the arrow, move it over to the list in the search area. You can select multiple folders at once. My top tip is if you have a folder of photos that you want to protect, so you don't want to be selected and flagged for deletion, say you've got a central hub of photos and then you found a new USB stick of photos that you want to see if you already have them, what you can do is use this little lock for the central hub. So you click on it and the little lock will stop your photos from being selected. Photo deduplication. Step 4. Start the scan. Start Scan tab. In this tab, it's pretty simple. Just click Start Scan. You can see progress and the makeup of the selections that you have scanned. Photo deduplication. Step 5. Review and mark duplicates. Duplicate Files tab. Now that Duplicate Cleaner Pro has run, we can now mark what we don't want. We can review one by one and select, but we can also use this selection assistant to help us, because this is kind of the reason of having the tool. But first you have to define the criteria for selection. There are all sorts of options, but my favorite are to do the smallest image dimensions, pick it from the drop down and then make sure you've ticked it. Smallest file size, again from the drop down if it's not there, and then tick it. And newest date created, pick it from the drop down and tick it. Kind of assume that if you've edited something, you actually want to keep the original, so it would have an older creation date. If they're not in the right order, you can just use the arrows on the right hand side to move things up and down. Then click Mark by Group and your images will be marked. Now to review them, we have 3 viewing options. The first one is the details view, which will give you really comprehensive detail about the file. You can drag and drop the columns over to whatever you want, but if you want to see an actual thumbnail of the images, just double click and it will go into a proper image. The second option is to show you a preview column, which is kind of similar to the detail view, but you have a larger thumbnail. I find it kind of quite hard to actually see everything, but again, you can drag and drop the columns to have the information that you want in a different order. And then the last option is the thumbnail view, which is my favorite. As you would expect, you get a thumbnail to review your photos. You can change the size of the image with the slider over here on the right hand side, or you can also see different things. Sometimes the folder bit is not selected, so tick on that so you can see where your files are located in folders. You can then click the X to deselect for deletion, and then you can select a different one to select. You can select all the photos in a group to be deleted, but Duplicate Cleaner Pro will ask you to make sure before you delete all those files in the next step. So don't worry if you make a mistake. Photo deduplication, step 6, move duplicate photos, file removal tab. Once you're reviewed and you're happy, it's now time to get rid of those duplicates. Now what you could do is you could just delete them if you want and get rid of it, but I like to put it in like a holding folder called trash just in case I've made a mistake. So select Move or Copy Files, click to select a folder and create or find the folder that you're going to call your trash. Then select to keep the folder structure if you want. You can just dump everything in there, but if you select to keep the folder structure, it will keep the original folder structure so you can work out where your duplicates have come from. Then select to move your files because we don't want to create any more duplicates, confirming that you're okay with that move, and then it will move all the files for you. Brilliant! Video deduplication, step 2, set up your scan criteria tab. As I've already said, we need to do a second run to identify duplicate videos. So go back to the select scan mode and select video mode. For match settings, we've got a couple of options. You can match the thumbnail, which will be quicker, but doesn't always give you what you want. But you could also then run match by similar video frames, which will take longer, but will be more accurate. Then leave the rest of the settings as default. Video deduplication, step 3, add your files, scan location tab. Select the folder that you want to sort and move it over with the arrow, or if you're just repeating the same folder from the photo deduplication, leave it all the same. Video deduplication, step 4, start the start scan tab. Again, pretty simple, just press that click to start scan and it will start doing its magic. Video deduplication, step 5, review and mark duplicates, duplicate files tab. Now to get to the duplicate files again to review. The setting for the selection system is going to be a little bit different from photos because we're doing videos. So the first one is to select the smallest image dimension, the shortest duration, and the smallest file size. Then also maybe the newest date creation if you want to use that as well. Then click Mark by Group and your images will be marked. You can again review with the different views, but as you only get a thumbnail, you can also click on the video and it will play in the bottom and you can check to see whether the videos are duplicates. So you can see in this case, it's got a little bit stuck because the thumbnail looks exactly the same. But actually, if I click on the video, you can see it's a different length and the file name is different. So I clearly want to keep both of those. Video deduplication, step 6, move duplicate photos, file removal tab. After reviewing all your files and finalizing your marking, it's time to deal with those duplicates. While again, you could just simply delete them, I still like to move them all into my little trash folder. So again, select to move or copy files, make sure that folder is still the same, select to create your folder structure so you can know exactly where the stuff came from, then move your files, confirm that you're happy with it, and your job is done.